Oh, come on, Piers. I've watched you for the last...
Hassan, let's get into...
No, I don't believe he's the new Hitler. I believe he's someone who quotes...
Piers Brang, Roland Martin, and Mehdi Hassan.
It's Hitler. Do you believe that he should have hosted a Holocaust-denying Hitler supporter at his home for dinner?
No. I tweeted he shouldn't have done.
So then why are you giving him a pass? Why are you always praising him on your show? Why don't you start every show saying,
not giving him a
why
pass.
is a guy running for president who... come on, Piers, I've watched you for the last 3 days. You've been bathing him with praise. This is a guy who hosts a Holocaust at his home, quotes Hitler, praises Nazis, calls African countries shithole countries, tells non-white women to go back to the countries they came from, says black people like me more because I got indicted.
Don't misquote
me. You don't cover this stuff.
Don't misquote
so I just
me.
want to let
your
viewers know.
If you want to know my views about all the things you've just been saying, they're all there, public record. I'm a weekly columnist. I've condemned Trump for many things, but he is not the new Hitler.
That's easy to do, but overall, you're still supporting him for Hitler.
Let me point out a point.
You haven't called for him to stand down from the race. You called for Biden to stand down, but not a convicted criminal who praises Hitler.
Well, we're going to come to Biden where we'll find common ground, I'm sure. But the point I've been making about Trump since the attempted assassination...
It's your double standards that's the problem,
I've only made 2 points about Trump,
I'm sure we have common ground.
Mehdi, I've only made 2 points about Trump since the weekend. One, he showed incredible personal courage in the seconds after he was shot to get back up when he didn't know if there were still other shooters out there and to show such defiance. OK, you may not think so, but I did, right? Secondly...
I'm saying fair enough. That literally means it's a fair point.
OK. And secondly, the only other point I've made is I genuinely think this is going to propel him back to the White House. It's not my... I don't have a vote.
That is not the only other point you've made, Piers.
I haven't told anyone to vote for him. Mehdi, you've got to let me finish my sentence.
That is not true,
You've got to let me finish my sentences.
Yes, no.
You have to. You have to. As you would expect on your show, right? I believe he's going to win. I'm not telling people to vote for him. I can't vote for him. I just believe Donald Trump will now be the next president of the United States, partly because of what happened last weekend and partly because of the decrepit and ridiculous and embarrassing state of the person he's up against, Joe Biden. So when you say I've been praising Trump for 3 days, no, all I've said is I think he showed great personal courage and I think he's going to win the election. Those two things, by the way, I think are going to turn out historically to be completely true.
No, come on. That's incomplete. I watched both your shows Monday, Tuesday. People can go watch them. You have acted as if there's two sides to this, that the Democrats are guilty of the same incitement and violence. Well, there's not. I'm sorry. All right, let's play a game.
I've literally just played a bunch of people calling him Hitler for the last 8 years.
Those are not... Sorry. Well, no, you didn't, actually. You played a clip from Willie Geist accurately reporting that Hitler did
I played many people.
Hold on.
I can play a few again if you like.
Hold on. Piers, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, leadership of the Democratic Party. Can you play to me clips of them inciting violence in the same way as Donald Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ron DeSantis, Paul Gosar?
Why are you deflecting?
Because you are deflecting, Piers. I'm not going to sit here and let you do both sides bullshit tonight.
Might be conflating...
The Republican Party is a party of violence.
You might be conflating
Piers,
the two roles.
I can sit all day with you.
Mehdi.
Now you're cutting me off.
Mehdi.
Hold on, now you're cutting me off. Let me answer your question.
I'm reminding you it's actually my show and I do the questions and you answer them. On yours, it's the other way around.
Let me answer the question then.
Right.
Let me answer the question. There are not two sides.
When you say it's not two sides, but I've played you a bunch of clips of people repeatedly calling him Hitler, I say to you, there's the two sides.
All right, so let me respond. Can I respond?
Yep.
Yeah, real shit, man. Like, why would they call Trump Hitler? He has nothing in common with Hitler. I mean, like, that's such a dumb claim. I think he tweeted one time, I think he reposted or he tweeted that Hitler did some good things or something like that. Possibly could have done it for, the clout or just he wanted to get some clicks in there because it made headlines, And he put a tweet up saying that he wants a unified Reich or some shit like that, man. And they're like using that to make it seem like Trump is trying to be the new Hitler type shit. And it's like it's such a dumbass argument.
Can I respond? Bro. Okay, let me respond. Donald Trump ran for office in 2016 telling protesters rallies to punch people who pay their bills. As president, he played a clip of a guy saying the only good Democrat is a dead Democrat. He said to the Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. He called Nazis at Charlottesville. No, let me finish. You're interrupting me, Piers. I need to finish my sentence as you get to finish yours. I'm on your show. I'm a guest. I'm answering. Let me get to... I'm pointing out this is not two sides. What Donald Trump has said... your viewers need to hear this because you're not telling them this. Trump spent his entire presidency inciting violence against Ilhan Omar, George Soros, multiple members of Congress, people of color, right? He left office right? Having incited an insurrection which you condemned. He told them to go fight like hell. He said Mark Milley should be executed, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
What's this got to do with my question?
He mocked Paul Pelosi. I'm getting to it. He mocked Paul Pelosi for being hammered in the head.
He was wrong to do that.
Called for
That was
Pelosi to be
outrageous.
executed. It's not about whether he was wrong, Piers.
It is.
I can give you dozens of actual violent quotes from Donald Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Paul Gosar. You can't give me those
Can you
quotes
get back to my
from
question?
Biden.
Hey, brother, it goes both sides. The Democrats have said some janky shit about Trump that, shouldn't have been said. And the Republicans, the conservatives do as well. He's making it seem like Trump is it's like a one-sided thing. Nancy Pelosi even said that. She even, I think they had a clip of her saying that she wanted Trump to get hit with a bullseye or some shit, kind of insinuating that she wanted him to get shot or some shit, assassinated. So it goes
Jeffries.
both sides, man. Come on.
Answer my question. Where did Joe Biden say the
I've
only
asked
good
you a
Republican is a dead
question,
Republican?
Mehdi.
But it's not both sides, Piers. You can't deflect, Piers. The viewers are watching.
Your side
Where
has
did
literally
Biden or
spent
Harris?
8 years calling him Hitler. It's ridiculous to say there's no both sides.
We've already discussed the Hitler point. Where have they
Do you
incited
accept?
violence?
Let me
Where
ask
did
you
Biden
this.
say go kill
Please,
people?
You can't keep asking me
No,
questions.
Piers, I'm not letting this go. Sorry. General Mark Milley, he called for his execution. Can you point to me to a single Democrat who's called for a Republican execution?
Let me ask you
I'll
again.
wait. I won't interrupt you.
Let me ask. No,
I'm waiting, Piers.
I'm
Point me
asking
to a
you the
single
questions, Mehdi.
Democrat who's
Mehdi.
called for an execution.
Mehdi, respectfully, it's my show.
I
I ask the questions. Now listen, answer me this: If he
You're
is
also
the
making
new,
false
if he is the
statements,
new
which I'm not
Hitler,
about.
as so many people have been calling him, would there be a moral
Yeah.
justification in shooting him?
Of course not. I'm not someone who advocates violence, Piers. The Republicans are, but you never asked them about it because you're supportive
Stop
of the Republican
deflecting,
Party.
Mehdi.
As much as you like to
Stick
pretend
to your
you're
side.
above the fray. I'm not deflecting. I answered your question. I just said I don't support violence. The only people who support violence in American political culture are Marjorie Taylor Greene, Donald Trump, Paul Gosar, Ron DeSantis, the governor of Montana, who was convicted for assaulting a journalist. Trump praised him. Paul Pelosi was hammered by a guy who believed in election lie. Trump praised him. I mean, this is insane, Piers. There's one side that is inciting violence, praising violence, mocking violence. You have no problem with them. Instead, you obsess over journalists reporting accurately.
Actually,
that
I
Trump
heard
has
the
quoted
president-
Hitler and praised Hitler.
I read that the President of the United States, only 3 days before Donald Trump was shot, said it's time to put him in the bullseye. If that's not violent language,
come on,
what
Piers.
is?
This is such bad faith.
Right, he did say that.
You know
Right.
perfectly well Biden was not inciting violence. It's a figure of speech. He's already foolishly apologized for it.
Okay.
You're
So
comparing that to calling for the execution of Mark Milley.
So every
Piers.
time your side
Hold on,
uses
are you-
violent language, they don't mean it. But every time the other side
He
does, they
literally
do.
said, hold on. Oh, my word. Piers, come on. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump called for their opponents to be executed. Did Biden do that? I'll ask again. You dodged it the first time.
No.
Did Joe Biden do that? And you're obsessed with Hitler.
Yes,
Trump
I'm
called
obsessed with
Biden
Hitler because
called him
you
the
and so many
Gestapo.
others keep
So
calling
then
him
why
Hitler.
haven't you condemned Trump? So does Trump. Trump called Biden the Gestapo just 2 months ago. Did you condemn him on this show?
Right.
Yes
Should
or no?
people... Let me ask you this. Should people...
No. Did you
Hang
condemn
on,
Trump?
Mehdi.
No,
I'm
no,
asking
you're
you a
obsessed
question.
with Hitler. No,
I'm
sorry,
asking you a
Piers. Sorry,
question.
Piers. You've made this entire interview about Hitler.
I'm
Did
asking
you condemn
you.
Biden? Did
I'm
you condemn
asking
Trump
you.
for calling Biden the Gestapo?
Should people on
Did
the
you-
left continue?
Did you condemn Trump?
Should Mehdi?
You
Let me
didn't,
ask
obviously.
a question. Should people on the left continue to compare Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler? Yes or no?
Should the right call Biden Hitler?
Stop
because
deflecting,
Trump called him
Mehdi.
Gestapo.
Answer
It's
the
not
question.
deflecting. I'm pointing out your biases, Piers.
I'm asking you a question
You're
about
pointing
your
out Biden.
side.
Oh, my side is as long as Trump carries on praising Nazis, I'll point that out. I'm not going to. This show is called Piers Uncensored, but you want to stop me from criticizing Trump
No.
because a Republican
I
shot
don't
at
want
him
to stop you.
with a
Why do you say
Republican gun?
that?
No.
Why do you say that?
You just said, will you stop comparing him to Hitler?
Yes.
I'm only comparing him to Hitler because he talks like Hitler.
So you
If he
are
stops
comparing
talking
him to
like
Hitler,
I'll
who
stop
killed
comparing-
12 million people.
Because he's quoting Hitler.
How?
No, I'm not.
So you do think he's the new
This is
Hitler?
childish.
How?
So you do think he's Hitler?
No, I think he's... No, I don't. I already said no, Piers. This is very hard
So
for
if
you to
he's not
understand.
the new Hitler,
He's not
should
the new
people...
Hitler,
if,
but he's...
Mehdi, if he's not the new Hitler, should people stop calling him Hitler? Yes or no?
He's not the new Hitler, but he's quoting Hitler, so I'm going to say he's quoting Hitler, and you can't censor me from saying that.
Of course I
If you have a
can't.
problem with the Hitler analogies, hold on, Piers, you do lots of interviews with Trump. Why don't you ask him to stop echoing Hitler instead of asking him softball questions?
Oh, well, actually, I didn't ask softball questions. If you go back and look at them, they were probably the
Did
toughest
you ask him to
interviews
stop
he
quoting
did.
Hitler?
Sorry?
Did you ask him to stop quoting Hitler?
You seem
Did you ask him to
fascinated
stop
with
quoting
questions
Hitler?
I've asked
You
other
asked
people.
Me.
But yet you yourself don't want to
Because
answer
I
these
worry
questions.
about your double standards, Piers.
What double
I worry
standards?
about your bias. I just pointed out to you.
I don't
Ben
have a
Shapiro came on
bias.
your show. You didn't play him a clip. Can I finish? You asked me a question. You don't let me finish. Ben Shapiro came on your show.
You said all
You did not
this.
play a clip of Ben Shapiro calling up.
You said
oh,
all
my word.
this.
Can you finish one sentence? Ben
You've
Shapiro
done what
came
Joe
on your show. You
Biden
did
did
not
with
play
Lester
one clip
Holt.
of him calling a fascist.
You've done what Joe Biden did
I'm
with
much
Lester
more coherent
Holt.
speaker than
Every
Joe
time
Biden.
Lester Holt asked
Actually,
Biden a question, he deflected.
Actually, I wish
every
Joe
time.
Biden had been more aggressive, as I am with you, and not put up with bullshit questions about bullseyes.
Listen, like I said,
You and I both agree Joe Biden should be way more aggressive and coherent.
Well, we're going
So
to come
let's
to
not
Joe
compare
Biden.
me to
We're going to come to Joe Biden in a moment, but just to be crystal clear, you have no problem with people on the left continuing to call Trump Adolf Hitler or compare him to Hitler.
I have no problem with Republicans like J.D. Vance calling Donald Trump Hitler if he talks like Hitler. No, I have no problem with that.
And what about people on the left, like including you?
I mean, should I not? Okay, Piers, I don't understand this question. If Donald Trump quotes Hitler, should I not say that? Should I censor
I'm just
myself
saying,
on Piers'
if you genuinely believe on the left that
you need to be clear with your question.
I'm trying to.
All right, I like this guy's takes on the Middle East, man. But when it comes to I don't understand why he goes so hard for the Democrats. I don't. He just shills for the Democrats, and they're just as bad, if not worse.
Biden should not be a Democrat nominee, should he?
No, I don't think Joe Biden should be the Democratic nominee. I don't think Donald Trump should be the Republican nominee. I wish we had two different nominees running for office, one on the Democratic side who was younger and more coherent and more energetic, and one on the Republican side who was less of a criminal and less of an authoritarian.
But you think that Kamala Harris, helped by Nancy Pelosi, is the answer. I would say Pelosi's showing little sign of being any better than Biden in terms of her ability to construct a sentence. And Kamala Harris, I think, would also get completely wiped away by Donald Trump.
For real.
So to me, it seems to me the Democrats...
People hate her more than Biden.
The Democrats now cannot win. They've dug themselves into a terrible place where they look fractured and disunited. And the Republicans are united and ready to go.
Piers, this is a United States of America, most polarized country of my lifetime. It's very, very tight because people are just partisans. On both sides, they'd vote for a corpse as their candidate. The latest polls show Trump up by 2 points. It's still a ridiculously close race. Obviously, Trump's got the edge. He's got momentum. But you're going to get annoyed at me again.
This guy's
Sorry.
trolling. He's saying it's a ridiculously close race. All right, he's trolling. So when they start trolling, man, I can't take it. So let me see here. Roland Martin.
You just sat here with this whole, we need to step back, we need to watch what we say, and then it's like, oh, they're Marxists and they're communists. That's what I was laughing at, because that was insane. You said what the president needs to do, he did.
Questions.
No, Ben. I'm going to back it up. You're gonna, I'm going to finish. Ben, I'm going to finish.
All right, Ben, let him respond first.
I'm going to finish. I had to sit here and listen to an insane, ridiculous, nonsensical discussion for 40 minutes. It's back and forth, it's back and forth, it's back and forth. Nothing about policy, nothing about what's actually happening, but the back and forth. Here's the reality. President Biden came out shortly after the assassination attempt and spoke to the nation. He spoke to the nation in the Oval Office. He's addressed this in an interview with Lester Holt. The reality is nobody, I don't care who you are, should be pleased with assassination attempt on any American politician, whether it was Donald Trump, whether it was Gabby Giffords, whether it was Reagan or Ford or any other president. I don't care who you are. So all this back and forth is just dumb. Now, are there political differences? Are they ideological differences? Can we have that actual debate? Yes. Can we do that? But what is ridiculous is when it's, let's take a pause, and it's like, they're Marxists and then they're communists. That, Ben, is complete nonsense.
But let me ask you, Roland. All right, let me ask you. Right, hang on, Ben. Roland, let me ask you the question that, there was a lot of back and forth with Mehdi, because I believe that Mehdi constantly was deflecting from wanting to accept that anyone on the left has ever done or said inflammatory, incendiary things, when obviously they have. Do you believe it is unhelpful to public discourse in America that people keep calling Trump the new Hitler?
People call him Trump the Hitler. Republicans did. It was unhelpful. What's unhelpful is when we do not have...
It's a good point. A lot of even J.D. Vance called him Hitler. Surprisingly, he's the VP now.
Policy
but,
conversations. That is unhealthy.
But why can't you just answer that question? Why is it so hard to answer?
When we go racist and non-racist,
Hang on, Ben.
you don't actually talk about what the actual issue is. That to me is silly.
Roly-poly sounds
and then
tired.
when you spend
Yeah,
40
man,
minutes
this dude-
on just that one question versus what are the
Yeah, but you won't
policies-
answer it either. This conversation, this question can be answered
Just a
very
loud,
quickly, and we
fat-ass
move on.
man.
I
Just
answered it.
talk.
What?
I answered it.
Do you believe?
Now,
hang on, Roland.
you
What
may
was
not
your?
like an
I missed it. I missed it. What was your answer?
How did you miss it?
Should people call Trump the new Hitler? Yes or no?
People shouldn't call Trump the new Hitler.
Okay.
If he quote Hitler, quote him.
Okay, good. So he's not the new Hitler. It's wrong to do that. It's inflammatory and wrong. Yeah.
Do I believe he's dangerous? Yes.
No, that's
Do
not
I
the
believe-
question.
No. See, again, Pierce.
It's not the question.
No, Pierce. This is the
It should
problem.
be very straightforward.
No, Pierce. You asked the
Roland,
question.
is he the new Hitler?
I
No.
answered.
Should people stop
Now you
calling him
want
the
a
new
second.
Hitler? Yes.
I've already answered it.
So people should stop calling him Hitler.
Okay. We're going to call him Trump. What's the next question, Pierce?
I'll come to the next question now that you've answered. Fine.
After about 50 minutes. Great.
Fine. Yeah, but you know what? If Mehdi Hassan had answered that question like you did, it would have taken.
Whatever. I mean,
it would have taken
but
2 minutes.
It's a waste of a conversation.
Actually, it's not. I actually think one of the it's actually not, because the only way, because when a president of the United States, who was president until 3.5 years ago, who may well be president again come November, when he is nearly assassinated, and it is widely accepted by everyone in American public discourse that the rhetoric.
Yeah. The guy who assassinated him, Thomas Crook, registered as a Republican. A lot of people didn't catch that.
Used
but he
on both
was a
sides now
Republican.
for a long period of time has got completely out of hand and may
But
we don't know, but may well have played a part in influencing someone to try and put a bullet in his brain. I think it's a legitimate debate.
We have no idea what the motive was.
No.
We have no idea. None of this. Literally, none of this. We're making assumptions. And what I'm saying is, that's nuts.
Okay, but do you accept, finally, before I move on to the other two panelists, finally, Roland, do you accept that it's actually legitimate to say that everyone should dial down the rhetoric?
It is legitimate for people to have policy discussions.
That's not my question.
It is nonsensical when people talk about violence.
Right.
I subscribe to the same position as Dr. King, as Reverend Dr. Jim Lawson, when it comes to the issue of nonviolence.
Let me bring in Elizabeth Pipkin. Be waiting patiently. Elizabeth, you've been down at the RNC convention.
All right, man. He's just Roland's just babbling.
This thing's staged, right?
Roland babble.